Okay, this is sort of like a part 3 of spiritual people that are still in density, the split, getting along with people who are critical and judgmental. When do you let them go? Are they letting you go? There is something so important about this subject matter, and I want to share it with you right now because it's critical to what happens from this day forward for us as a collective. Are you ready? Don't miss this one. Let's go. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an amazing life. All right, I just saw a documentary. I love true stories. About 4 guys that went sailing out of New Zealand. Their catamaran, whatever kind of boat it was, flips over and they are gone for, I think, like 117 days. It was some crazy amount of time. Yeah, I went for a walk. And I gotta cool myself off. And I thought about how they survived, because no one believed that they could have possibly survived that long in a capsized boat, but they did. And it was proven that they really did. People thought it was a hoax. Why? Is it possible for people to come together and survive for a long period of time that seems almost impossible in the worst of situations? Well, we're no different. How did they survive? They didn't get along. In fact, it was sort of an annoying movie because these people were fighting the whole time. I don't know if they really did in real life, but I have to say it was no different than what we do now. And I want to share with you something that's so critical right now, and it relies on you. The captain said, doesn't matter what we think. If we don't come together and work as a team, we will die. That's just a fact. We have to start working together and getting along, because the fighting was doing what? Nothing but driving them apart and causing conflict and selfishness and all this other stuff that's going on. If we don't come together as a species, we will die. It's just a fact. Now, why aren't we focused on one thing? How do we work as a community to achieve our goals? Well, the issue is we all have different goals and we think we're right because we think as individuals. Now, there are just some basic things that we have to focus on, right? Survival. We have to eat, we want shelter, we want to be healthy, yet there's so many other things going on, and we've become so fragmented and individualistic that we have driven a divide amongst ourselves and therefore created struggle and conflict. And now we live like that. It's egos wanting what they want, including people that call themselves spiritual, who will blame and say that there's somebody wrong out there. Everyone's just in a different frequency, making decisions based on that frequency. And we all have the power to go back to that highest frequency, of which there's nothing but compassion. Every person out there that's in a dense state, the person that you see is angry or that treats you badly, comes from fear and experiences that created the groundwork, the foundation for that. They've made decisions not to move past it. Don't be that person. Now, I teach people, and if you guys have seen this, I have free videos, and one of the things I do is I give you 1 hour of breakthrough fear, and I have to share something about my students. Most of the students are just dealing with, in fact, all pain, including students or not students, comes from the story you tell yourself about what's happening out there or the people around you. It's the story. It's not the situation. It's the story about the situation. And who creates that? You do. Why do 2 people in the same situation, one will triumph and turn it into something glorious, a learning, teaching, wonderful situation for spiritual evolution, and a second one is angry and blaming and attached to it, almost addicted to that pain. I call it the loop. Why? They were just individual decisions. You're there right now. So those of you who have lost your faith in humanity or others, and that the others are a problem, you're still not in that frequency where you haven't recognized that they are a part of you. We are a fragmented one energy field that appears to be separate, and therefore the goal is to come together as one, no matter what that other fragment is doing. Now, I did a video and I said, you have got to just walk away from negative energy. You're not going to change that person. You change the world and that other person through your own thoughts, beliefs, and actions. So if you walk away and you still have negativity and anger and blame, and they're jerks and they're the reason that we're going to hell in a handbasket here on planet Earth, you are no different than they are. They're just verbalizing it in a different way. But you're still saying that they're wrong and you're right. So there's no spirituality in that. We use that word so freely because we think that if we want good for other people, that places us in a higher frequency. Well, yeah, there's some good things that come from that. But separation is still at the root of all issues on this planet. When we come together, and this is what Christ taught, and Buddha, and all the amazing prophets out there taught over and over again, to just love your neighbor no matter what, and to be there for everyone and service to others, because what you give, and this is part of my teachings, what you give, you receive. I don't do ask and it is given. I believe that when people say ask and it is given, it's about me. I ask and it's given. I want something. And that sounds very egotistical. Now, that's not what the meaning of it is. But I changed the words so that you could understand that what you give, you receive. So we start with giving first. And whatever I'm giving, whether it's a thought or belief, you're receiving that back. Somebody said in one of the comments, well, I've noticed that wealthy people who have everything in perfect relationships, they seem to be the most angry and selfish and whatever, and that poor people who are overweight, and they're the happiest. And I thought, I don't know who you're hanging out with, but that's not what I'm seeing. I'm seeing just people making decisions. Some are happy, some aren't. It's when we expect the material world to make us happy, it can never fulfill that. So if you're seeing that, it's not the wealth or the perfect situation that causes that. It's the story and the belief that that person has about their situation. And if they expected that to make them happy, they won't be. That's what you're seeing. And same thing with people who don't have a lot. You'll see a lot of angry people who blame wealthy people and think that everybody should give them free stuff, instead of recognizing they have the power to create anything, and that when they do, the free stuff will come to them. And so they become unhappy because the material world isn't giving them what they want either. So it's not about having stuff or not having stuff. It's about the personal story that that person chooses about their situation. And it will always challenge you to the day you leave this planet. So when you go into a state of acceptance that we're playing out endless probabilities, endless choices, and that those are our teachers over there that are making some very low density choices. Can I stay strong and go into a positive state of mind and compassion anyways? Not approval, acceptance. So what is acceptance? I don't accept that what you're doing is okay. If you saw my video of non-participation, and we're not accepting things anymore as an action that is destructive, but I accept that you're making that choice. I now have to be the solution. So now if you're in a family situation, if you think a solution is to pound your spiritual ideas into them and that they're wrong, and then they're pushing you away, if they're pushing you away because you're doing that, it's because your ego wants to be right and wants them to change, and that's not acceptance. We are in a state of perpetual struggle because we have no acceptance of the journey of the individual fragments of ourselves. Can we be one? Because when we become that, we become an enlightened new earth, a great awakening that will happen spontaneously, because once we all go into that state, it's the most amazing thing that could happen, and heaven on earth happens at that point. It occurs based on our collective choice. And we can do this right now. This is not a future event, because it's all happening right now. And it starts with your thoughts and beliefs. Do you have an enemy? If you do, you are part of density, because that enemy is you. It's the Creator. It's the One. The Creator created everything, and you're it. You are not separate from the Creator. If you subscribe here, you can share these videos with anybody, post them anywhere. These are free videos called Manifest Anything, and I have all kinds of cool stuff, including a free mobile app called What Am I Manifesting? You can set alarms all day and catch your thoughts. Very important to catch them. And then, of course, we have free videos on creating an online business. And if you want to get creative and use the internet to do really good things, you can check these free videos out to see what that's all about. It's up to you. Get creative. Judge nothing. Criticize nothing. Be. You don't have to be. Whatever you want. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.